Cause why not? I'm playing a little this and I'm gonna hop off. Hurt. Be right back. Hey, once I get paid, I'm gonna get Elden Ring. I'm gonna get Black Ops 6, and I'm gonna get the full version of Modern Warfare, the current one, so I can play some more shit. I really want to play some Elden Ring. Hold on.
Chance is now live. Streaming Call of Duty, Warzone, Red Circle Live Red Circle new update same ping the art of war Seansaire of Gaming.
See if we can play our luck before we get off. It's the last one. Too easy. Come on. Magic bullets. Hey. I need a gun. Bruh. He's gonna hit me on bullshit today. Cool. I wonder what to do. Transmogrify. Chance to transmogrify. What does that mean? Bullet size and transmogrification are increased. Okay, that's a bit. So I got a good gun.
Last night, if you were watching my stream, you got to witness history unfold in front of your smiling face live. And I know that that's a phrase I use pretty often when I'm exaggerating. Usually I'll use it when I'm referring to something that's very trivial, like winning a participation trophy in a chess match or something. But this time I mean it. This is not a boy who cried wolf situation. Last night was a substantial moment in history. I went through all of the Twitch VODs I could find to see if anyone else had ever done this before, and I can't find any evidence of it ever having happened until I did it last night. Unless fucking Count Dooku came in there and scrubbed the Jedi archives, it just has never happened on Twitch. Vial? And it was a Magic the Gathering card opening I did last night where I pulled this bad boy. This is a serialized Eldrazi card.
That was if I was
not really focusing on it.
Yeah.
But it's number 221
that is a waste of money.
250. Kozilek the Broken Reality. That number right there, 250, that's how many of this card exist in the world. Magic the Gathering is one of the most popular card games on the planet. They sell millions upon millions upon millions of cards anytime there's a new set, which there is. And of the millions of cards in circulation right now, out in the wild, out in the tall grass, only 250 exist of that card that I pulled, and I have one of those sacred treasures now. Like, that 250 is basically how many nuts I've busted since pulling that last night. Like, I know to a lot of people that doesn't sound crazy, but maybe if I break it down mathematically, you'll start to understand just how rare what I did last night is. Luckily, this Reddit user put on their thinking caps and did some of the math to break it down for us. So, there are 750 serialized cards in the new set, Modern Horizons 3. This set is one of the most hyped in all of Magic, so it's likely that it's going to be at or above the best-selling set of all time, which is 280,000 boxes sold. So using these numbers, also to explain the 750, there's 250 serialized Kozileks, and then there's a couple others in the set that also have serialized versions. So popping these numbers into the old calculations here, at 280,000 collector's boxes, that comes out to about 3.4 million packs, meaning to get a serialized Eldrazi, it'd be one in about every 4,500 packs, or 0.0002% chance of pulling a serialized Eldrazi, and at $30 per pack, you're looking at $135,000 you would need to spend to even get in the ballpark of guaranteeing one, which isn't a guarantee. How about them apples? I have opened 7 collector's boxes for Modern Horizons 3, all on stream, and I managed to pull this off right here. So put that in your butt and fuck it. That is extraordinary. But it also leaves me a little sad, because a 0.0002% chance of doing something is such crazy low odds that I would have rather had that luck used for something besides pulling shiny cardboard. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that could have definitely been, like, that RNG could have definitely been spent better. Like, if I was guaranteed an extremely lucky event, I would really rather it not be pulling a cool Magic card. I love collecting and I love playing Magic, but Jesus Christ, the odds of me pulling that were so low, I really wish it had been used somewhere else in my life.
So they both hit.
But whatever, I'm still super happy with that card, and it's a great memory and a fucking banger stream moment. So I'm going to go ahead and just play the raw clip here of when I pulled that bad boy. Trench Post, $1. Looked it up. Spy Master's Vault, we pulled like 5 of these, it was like $1. Primal Prayers, normal retro. I can't believe what I'm looking at. I fucking stunned. Can you see this on camera right here? Can you see what I'm looking at right here? Can you see this? Someone's gonna need to get Wubby on the hotline right now, because this man's about to come over and suck my cock for what I just got. Can you see this? Can you this is like $2. I got a serialized Eldrazi, a serialized Kozilek. 221 of 250. I actually fucking pulled a serialized Eldrazi. Wait a fucking minute. Wait a second. Someone get the president on the line. This is big. That's actually unreal. That's the first serialized card I've ever seen. A serialized Eldrazi is ballistic. Holy shit. Okay, so for those that don't know, serialized cards mean that there's only this many of this version printed. So I got 221 of 250. Means there's only 250 of these in the fucking world. Usually serialized cards go for thousands, depending on like what number they are. This is a serialized Eldrazi. This shit is fat. Holy shit. Is there a hold on, I gotta check. Is there a single serialized Eldrazi for sale right now that I can look at? That's so fitting too, that it's a Kozilek. I play the shit out of Kozilek in my Goofy Searden deck. Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. That might actually be worth more than the fucking Demonic Tutor Alpha I pulled. That is an unbelievable hit. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. There might be one. There's got to be one on eBay, right? There's got to be one. There's 220 others that pulled one of these. There's got to be somebody selling through eBay. I need to know what they're going for right now. Okay, right now there is a serialized Kozilek on eBay, number 125, going for 4K.
Fuck this dude.
And then there's someone selling number
Gotta go
176. This is the cheapest one, but this one's an auction, so this one's still bidding. It's at 727. Then there is number 141 being sold for 1,000, also an auction. Then there's another number 110 being sold for 1,500, also an auction. All these have bids, by the way. 41 bids for the 1,500. Like, that's crazy. What a fucking pull. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot that I said I'd pull my cock out if I pulled a serialized Eldrazi. So I'm not doing that. Sorry to break it to you. I just thought it was impossible. I did not think there would ever come a day I'd pull a serialized card, let alone a serialized Eldrazi. So you can call me a liar. I'm not going to pull my flaccid meat out. Maybe if you give me some time to, like, maybe semi-chub, I'll think about it. But flaccid, absolutely not. Hold on.
Yo.
I'm actually shaking. That's the nerdiest shit ever. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that. Yikes. I'm shaking over cardboard. I think of all of the, like, I think
this shit.
The only thing that comes close for on-stream pulls I've ever done is probably when Danny pulled the Gym Heroes Blaine's Charizard on stream. That's like the only thing I think that comes close to my on-stream pulls. Oh my god! And there's still more in the box. How about this? If I get another serialized Eldrazi in this box, I will 100% commit to pulling my wiener out. Can we meet in the middle on that? If I get a second serialized in this box, then I'll do it. Then I will actually do it. Oh, hey, Wubby's here. Number 221.
Hey, got it.
We got the number 221 Kozilek.
I wonder what's
Rat. Hey.
I'm gonna try this one out.
I'm just telling you. Sometimes you just got the hot hands.
You
weren't born with the X factor in you.
Now let's see if we can get
I'll teach you a thing
untouched.
or two. You know, in fact, watch me do it again. That card was so good, I think I'll have it a second time. You want to see me do it again? 2 serialized, 1 box. Oh my god, wait, this is a crazy pack already. Another Ocelot Pride. Flooded Strand Retro Foil, $50. This box is crazy. This box is fucking crazy. When you cast this spell up to 2 target players, each manifests 2 cards from their hands. For each card manifested this way, you draw a card. Other colorless creatures you control get +3/+2. And since it's a serialized card, it also comes with the hidden passive that I win the game if I play it. So that'll be fun. That'll be good. There's card shops that have been in business for decades that have never pulled a serialized Eldrazi. It is an incredible feat. Not that it took talent or anything, it's not like I did anything special, I just got lucky. But it's just such a rare occurrence that the vast majority of people and places will never pull a serialized card no matter how many boxes they get because they are that hard to come by. So it really is a special moment in Twitch history. I don't think I missed anything, like I don't think it's been done before on Twitch, not that I've seen,
right now.
But even if it has, then I want to shake that person's hand as well because that shit is unreal. Like, it's so crazy to actually pull that. So I just had to talk about this. The full opening, the full card opening, I think I'm going to just post on the Skill Check channel or on Moist Charlie clips. I haven't decided which one yet. Probably Skill Check because we've been doing so much Magic content. Like, we have another big Commander game coming out this week. So I'll probably post it there. But anyway, that's about it. So, yeah.
I do got a buff on it, so I got to keep it. Let's see what duct tape is. It's 8 tier. Combines 2 guns. Grant the second gun the projectiles it fires. Combines 2 guns. Grants the second gun the projectiles. The gunfire in addition to its own projectile. Oh, okay. Okay.
The freezer.
I just trust.
Trying to find something to watch.
Star Wars has a new show that just released called Acolyte, and a lot of people are saying that this is the worst Star Wars show ever produced. Which I have to raise a big eyebrow to, because did we all forget Book of Boba Fett exists? What blows my mind is some people still defend that show, saying like, oh, the last 2 episodes are good, but I mean, let's just go ahead and forget about the other episodes before
That'd
it.
be crazy
Like the
if I
Vespa
shoot
chase scene. God
a bunch
help
of
us all.
bullets
I'd show
that
you the
blow
clip if I
up.
wasn't worried about being copyright struck for it, but there is an unironic chase scene in Star Wars Book of
Alright, read
Boba
it
Fett
again.
where they are pursuing each other on Vespas that
Combines
probably go
it
about as fast as I can jog. And I am not fast at jogging. If you've seen me do the presidential fitness course, you'll know my top speed is that of maybe a child
I'm gonna
falling
try.
down the stairs, like a very small flight of stairs. I am not fast, but I am confident I could have outrun the Vespas in Star Wars. Point is, recently Star Wars has just been a shell of its former self, which sucks to see because it's a franchise that meant so much to me growing up, and meant so much to me for such a long time. But I just have not enjoyed it in a while. The only things in the Star Wars universe I've enjoyed in recent times were the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, the entirety of Andor. Andor was shockingly good. And also, I liked the Han Solo movie. That's a really controversial hot take, but that's just a genuinely turn-your-brain-off fun sci-fi film if you forget that it's supposed to tie into Star Wars in any way. It's self-aware cheesiness, and I just had a good time watching it. And I can't say that about pretty much anything else Star Wars has done for the last decade. And for the most part, I stopped tuning in. I swore off the franchise because I just haven't been enjoying it, so what's the point in just banging my head against this wall in boredom? But with the headline of Acolyte being the worst Star Wars thing ever made, I had to check it out. When people say French fry, I pizza, you know what I mean? Like, if something is said to be truly horrific, avoid at all costs, I'm going right over there and I'm taking a big old fucking sniff of it. I've got to know, does this shit smell like poop? Time to find out. I'd like to form my own opinions on it. So, I watched the first 3 episodes of Acolyte, which are the only 3 episodes that are out, and I want to vomit my thoughts into your mouth like a baby bird being fed by its mother here. We're going to go over the good and the bad, and there's not much good. Let's start with the good, actually, because that'll be nice and quick.
This game sucks.
I actually really like the action. The action in this is mainly hand-to-hand combat, and they do a pretty good job with it. Also, just a heads up, my house isn't haunted. That's not a poltergeist event. That claw machine is almost ready, so right now it seems the engineers are tinkering around with it remotely. So, oh, I mean, it's pretty cute. Sorry, I wanted to see if they won. So they're using the Force remotely to play my fucking claw machine behind me. Don't be distracted. Point is, the good, the fights. I actually like the fights. It's flashy, hand-to-hand combat, martial arts, and that's nice. There's not a lot of it, but when it's there, it's at least refreshing. It's this welcomed palate cleanser from the very terrible writing that this show has. Like, I don't even think the characters are even bad per se. Like, they could have been pretty interesting, but the writing is so creepy. And I know I use that word real loosey-goosey. I mainly use it ironically, but here I really do mean it. It sounds like they're trying to be deep, but don't know how. For example, one of the bad guys, he's like, steel and laser, no good against Jedi. Have to kill the dream. And then fucking fires up his lightsaber for no reason. All to be like really cinematic and dramatic.
Oh my God.
It's just really lame. Like, all of the writing falls super flat.
Giving me
Even when you have
problems.
characters I think could work pretty well, they just can't write them well, unfortunately. So the show starts with who we think is the main character killing a Jedi Master
Hey,
in a
when he
bar
dives
fight.
the wrong way.
And the bar fight's really cool if you don't think about it too hard. She's supposed to be all about peace, but she waits until after all of her friends get their shit pushed in,
Fuck out my face,
absolutely
nigga.
clobbered by this assassin who came up to her,
Yeah,
letting her
bitch.
know her intentions. Like, I am here because I want to kill you. Like, I am here because I am going to fucking murder everyone here to kill you. And the Jedi Master just kind of blows her off like, "Heh, whatever, punk. Loser, get out of this bar." So then she starts killing, or not killing, she
Hard
starts,
advice.
you
I
know,
what that means.
annihilating all of her friends. And then after they're all down is when she steps up. And that just doesn't make much sense. Like, why? Like, I feel like as a Jedi, you'd probably act before then to protect your friends.
Key.
And then she eventually dies to the assassin because the assassin throws a knife at the bartender, and the Jedi Master force stops it, and then she takes a knife in the heart while she was distracted for stopping it. So she acted to protect the bartender far more than she acted to protect any of the friends she was with, and it led to her death. She died to basically a small fucking kitchen knife blade. Of course, it's very sharp. It's a real weapon, but I mean, it's a Jedi Master. You don't typically expect them to die to something like that. That was pretty underwhelming. But the fight itself was flashy and cool, but when you really start to break apart like why it was happening and the way in which the Jedi died here, kind of silly. Now, after the Jedi Master's death, they figure out who the most likely culprit is behind the assassination. It's our main character, Osha, who is a former Jedi. Well, she was trained as a Jedi and left 6 years ago. Now she works as basically a ship repair person. Like, she does a lot of, like, maintenance on ships. And the Jedi come up to her, they accuse her of the crime. The bartender even identifies her. And it turns out she's innocent. Osha had a twin sister named May. And 16 years ago, or 15 years ago, I forget exactly the timeline, there was this big fire where only Osha survived. Everyone thought May died. And by everyone, I mean Osha and Jedi Master Sol, who was there and took Osha as his Padawan. He thought May was dead, watched her die, but it turns out May's alive, and she's out for revenge on 4 Jedi in particular. So now she's just on a galactic killing spree. Now, initially, when the premise was starting to unfold here, I thought this was going to be like oh, Osha's going to have to go on her own solo mission to prove that it's not her killing the Jedi, it's actually her twin sister who is alive. But nope, the Jedi immediately learn that May is real and actually even get her caught in a sting operation in the 2nd episode, immediately. She goes to this Jedi, Master Torben, I believe his name was, who just sits there meditating with like a force field around him. So she's trying to assassinate him, but he's blocking all of her punches by falling asleep while floating, basically. And she's really struggling to hit him. And then she eventually works with someone else in the city, and the Jedi catch her from that. The guy gives her a poison to kill Master Torben with, and she basically goes up to him and is like, listen, Master Torben, I know you're really guilty, which is why you just sit here fucking floating on your ass all day. Like, I get it. I'm giving you an option to kill yourself. And then he just floats down, he's like, thank God. I've been looking to die. Takes the poison and dies. He's like, forgive me for my sins. Dead. Dude couldn't wait to be banished to the Shadow Realm here.
Shit is not
basically,
that good.
The implication is that he is guilty of some kind of cover-up with their past of that event that separated Osha and May and led to everyone thinking May and everyone else around there was dead.
Big Iron and what?
Osha's whole family and everyone around her was killed in a fire, and they thought May was dead as well, but it turns out she's not. Torben had a suspicion that May survived. Somehow, I guess we'll learn later on why he was under that impression. So he just sat in like a suspended animation state, floating like Zenyatta, waiting for the moment where she would bring him a poison so he could take it and die. But if I may issue an argument for anything else besides that, if he was waiting for May to kill him as like a way for him to apologize and give her closure, why wouldn't he just let down the force field when she was trying to punch, kick, and stab him? Why keep it up? Just to prank her? Like, what's the point? Why did he wait for a poison when he could have just let her stab him? I don't know. It seems silly. Maybe he fell asleep at that point and didn't realize it's possible. I don't know. But it's dumb. It's still like really dumb. Like, there's nothing satisfying or entertaining about that. It's just really silly. But anyway, after her death, they eventually corner May. They catch her. They're about to bring her in, and it leads to a pretty good fight, yet again, between May and Master Sol. Like, I do like the combat. Like, they do a good job with that. Honestly, that should have been, like, the whole focus of this series, because it's the only thing they're doing right here. Also, I forgot to mention this. Coruscant plays somewhat of a big role as a location here, kind of. And they show you Coruscant, and I was so disappointed. It's crazy how fucking over 20 years after the prequels have come out, the prequels had a better, like, visualization of Coruscant than this show. This show has over $100 million of budget to play with, and somehow they just cannot make Coruscant look nearly as good as it did 20 years ago. That's so disappointing. It's my favorite location in all of Star Wars lore. And when I saw it here, it actually looked like they just kept copy and pasting the same building in the background when they did their wide shot and put no actual care into showcasing how grand this place is. It's just... That just really kind of speaks to the quality at which they're satisfied with pumping out the Star Wars shows now. Like, it's so... I have to imagine the VFX artists weren't super proud of it. It just seems like it's pumped out just to get it out immediately for more Star Wars slop. It just feels like they don't put a ton of care into the property. It's just a matter of putting as much property out as possible. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if... honestly, I'd be happier if we got a Darth Insanius solo show. Or a Darth Yucky show. Or even, I mean, fuck it, Glup Shido. Give me the Glup Shido Grand Adventure. Like, I don't care, but just anything where they'll put any effort into it. Because they have the ability to do cool shit in Star Wars. They showed it with Andor. They showed it with the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. But they just got too much dip on their chip, I think, and now they're just totally complacent, pumping things like this out. And it's not very good. Now, I'll go ahead and spoil this. I don't think it's the worst Star Wars show. I still think that belongs to the Boba Fett. But it's still not good. Like, it's still just very not good. The only thing good in it is the food so far. And I don't really know how the show can save itself, because it's kind of backed into a corner.
Nice.
So episode 3 is the one that everyone's up in arms about. Like, this is the one that put it on my map is like, okay, maybe I should watch this because everyone's mad about how bad this show is after watching episode 3. So, let's talk about episode 3. Episode 3 gives the background of Osha and May, the Force-sensitive twins who this whole show revolves around. May is the villain, Osha is the hero who's trying to figure everything out, like, why is May doing this, how did May survive, who's really behind it all, and Osha's working with all the Jedi to figure it all out and piece everything together. And I imagine it's going to get into a cover-up with the Jedi having something to do with this big fire, but I'll get to that in a moment. So episode 3 shows where they come from. They come from a coven of witches, and Osha and May were created somehow. And it's like a big secret among the witches, their creation. So there's these 2 Force-sensitive witches born into this coven, and it's a huge deal, obviously. These twins were conceived without a father, and it's a very big moment in the Star Wars universe that the Jedi also become aware of. And if you know anything about Star Wars lore, you'll recognize that this is very similar to Anakin Skywalker, the actual prophesized child in Star Wars lore. He was conceived by